Much obliged to you. I'm not doing it single-handedly. I can hardly stand by that. Is the thing I'm doing here. I ain't genuinely attempting to get into that with you. This ain't really for us yet. I'm discussing for your birthday. Is there any good reason why you won't party with me for your birthday man music? So one of T.I.'s latest Instagram live turned into a flat-out display, not on the grounds that it was overflowing with superstars, despite the fact that it sort of completely was. But since Diddy himself coincidentally found the scene totally sloshed and prepared to release his wild side this episode, accomplished other things than simply fan the discharge of the Diddy is gay talk, it demonstrated unequivocally that Diddy's fruity way of behaving, while impaired, was nothing strange. We, as a whole, realize that Diddy rules as a definitive party lord of Hollywood, with accounts of his unbelievable slams reverberating through the ages, particularly from those wild 90s evenings. So in the event that Puff Daddy likes to stir things up around town hard, it's no big surprise his smashed capers will more often than not go a piece crazier. I like when you like this, Daddy. Better believe it. Picture this: a sloshed Puff Daddy shows up in this insane film from his visit to Drink Champions, hobnobbing with Nor Phenomenal. And Jadakiss, the cumbersomeness in the air, is substantial as Diddy openly alludes to part of the gang, as Daddy totally negligent of the uneasiness he's causing. You can't make this stuff up, man. Just knock him up for your birthday. HUD, is there any valid reason why you won't party with me for your birthday, man? I assume I mean they're truly party. You understand what I'm talking about. There's some serious inconsistency happening here. Fab cases that Diddy was available at his legendary birthday slam, yet Puff Daddy himself is passionately denying truly celebrating with Fab now. This makes one wonder, what sort of hoedown does Diddy have as a top priority? For Fab, the entire idea of the channel rotates around liquor-energized discussions, and Diddy acknowledged the beverage part during his appearance, bringing about some truly eyebrow-raising minutes. While Diddy's consideration was somewhere else, he wasn't precisely excited about that individual's ceaseless tricks anyway. He actually figured out how to marshal up some kindness and take part in a discussion in any event. Going to the extent that purchasing Diddy a beverage, currently it's an obvious fact that Diddy had been going hard at the party and his kindred entertainers could get on the wild energies. He was radiating the main fun kid that I've at any point seen him do. We was in one of those colorful shots. Oak. I'll turn this out on the grounds that this was interesting. We was in Atlanta. He dropped a stunner by guaranteeing that he and Diddy, in a condition of inebriation, left on a wild experience to a puzzling, unfamiliar bookshop back in the mid-2000s. And what did Diddy wind up purchasing? Prepare yourself, since it was a pack loaded with sex toys, including, in all honesty, butt plugs. Presently, here's where things get significantly more curious. As opposed to asking why on earth Diddy would make such a buy gene unfit to contain his interest, get some information about the reason for these saucy frill. And what did Diddy answer? Not with a why, but rather with a strong solicitation to be the one to place those plugs in himself. Yes, you heard that right, as though that weren't shameful enough. Pants let the cat out of the bag that Diddy truly had the entire lobby of product transported to North Carolina for a show. Yet the wild and outrageous trickeries didn't stop there. All through the trip to North Carolina, Diddy and Jean proceeded with their champagne-filled ventures, and the franticness carried on when they landed, regardless of quality's endeavors to prevent Diddy from executing his end-all strategy. The rap still up in the air to pay individual star Ja Rule an unforeseen visit in his lodging. Quality related the stunning occasions, uncovering that Diddy figured out how to advance inside Ja Rule's suite, letting the two men be as an ever-increasing number of claims stack facing Diddy. A portion of his past plastered admissions are beginning to check out, and not Boleto Wallace's blaming him a number for different famous people are standing up to. Take Usher, for instance. As per Diddy himself, yes, he let the truth out while completely sloshed. He made Southeast reference. Mark, all of you propels on Usher, when the vocalist was only 10 years of age here from the very first moment we used to awaken. And I mean Dan DeLay, yet like says, I mean some time ago, when he was like 10. And I was somewhat more established, his more seasoned sibling we used to battle about the over-the-ice chips. You understand what I'm talking about before stop they used to awaken together back, when Diddy was 19 evidently. And on the off chance that that weren't terrible enough attendant, likewise gone to a portion of Diddy's flighty gay gatherings, including one called Flavor Camp that Diddy facilitated when Usher was only 15. Going on Puffy Flavor Camp, there you go to learn something definitely. That is what it was called. We're exceptionally inquisitive things occurring. And I didn't be guaranteed to comprehend it's difficult to try and envision what sort of horrendous encounters Usher could host gone through at these gatherings little miracle. Then that he absolutely would not allow anybody to near him, go to one of Diddy's purported hoedowns do you. At any point, send your child to Puffy Camp. This wasn't the main time of VIP shared pessimistic surveys about Diddy's gatherings, which has left a portion of the fans confounded. One individual asked on the off chance that they are so frightened, for what reason do they go well? For what reason truly do individuals continue to succumb to Diddy's filthy deceives? It's the deep-rooted story of influence and cash. Everybody needs a slice of the pie. And when a promising rapper gets related with a name as large as Diddy's, they suspect they've raised a ruckus around town, however, as one fan brought up a fugone, not realizing they think they'll organize to help their professions. And the other 97% are dreadful, very much like him. And the rundown of Diddy's casualties continues developing with Usher not being the main one to let the cat out of the bag to the media. One more fearless person who ventured forward was Diddy's ex-cook, who sued him for lewd behavior and reprisal. She asserted she was outlined for burglary and terminated in the wake of griping about being pestered and not getting compensated for additional time. As per her, she was routinely approached to serve food to Diddy and his companions, promptly following sexual movement. As per sources, Rueda claims she served brushes a post-coital feast while he was exposed, and he inquired as to whether she preferred his body. One of his companions, she expresses, came into the kitchen bare and requested that she check out and respect his privates positively. There were a lot of other people who slipped through the cracks. So Diddy has a laid-out standing of being a reference mark ex-wrongdoer who baits young ladies and rappers by offering them guilty pleasures to ultimately make the most of them. He seems to have an example of drawing them in by requesting that they enter his vehicle. Another way he does this is by means of his notorious gatherings. His gatherings are notable for being famously unseemly. Consider every one of the ill-advised things your mother advised you to avoid, and add a greater foulness to that rundown. There you have it, Diddy's gatherings, Panther right. Likewise discuss these gatherings, transparently genuine, sound class bright. When you figured it couldn't get any more ridiculous, Jane loaded up with